Hello and welcome back to the Nest and Inside the Iggles live show. Thank you guys very much for joining us today on this Friday, December 8th. We got another Cowboys game coming up in a couple days on Sunday Night Football. I believe the Eagles are like 3-0 in the Sirianni era on Sunday Night Football or something, or maybe like 3-0 against the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. So that's something to look forward to. So that's good. I wish I was dumber than I am. Because if I was dumber than I am, I would be able to actually kind of like trick myself into like feeling good about this team going forward. But everything that I'm trying to do, it really just isn't working for me. But in order to solve that, we're going to bring in Mr. Optimistic Prime himself, ladies and gentlemen. It is Jalil Williams. Ja, how are you doing today? And make me feel better.
I'm doing very well, very happy, excited. Positive things are happening in life in general, And I know
No,
you're
I don't
down.
know. I
I
don't know,
know,
actually.
I know you're down, Jake.
I'm
Right? I
dead.
know. Yeah, you see, you just live in this pool of negativity, and you
That's
just
where I
swim
thrive.
laps in it repeatedly. And I need you to get out of the pool of negativity. Okay, dry off, towel off. All right, and just bask in the rays of positive. You can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. Now, look, I missed the last show, but just quickly, you just chalk that one up as they got us.
Can
They
let
got us. It happens. It happens.
I
I'm
didn't
not going to do any excuse making. There were things in the game that we would have liked to go in a different way, but it didn't happen that way. They got us. What I'm encouraged by is the ease in which we moved the ball the first couple of possessions. I think that the team got down after we didn't convert in both of those red zone opportunities.
correct.
And once the 49ers just got going, it was just difficult at that point, right? The momentum had shifted. They had 8 months, 10 months, however long it's been, of pent up frustration that they wanted to dump all over us, and they did that. That's over with. That's done. For them coming in, feeling how they felt, 10 days of rest, us going through a gauntlet week after week, playing these tough teams with tough defenses, and we dropped one. We didn't think we were going to go through the entire stretch, the entire gauntlet undefeated. We did. We did. It would have been nice, but we didn't think that was going to happen. And the way it lined up was, I mean, it just played out that way. But that's just one game, Jake. It's just one game. We're still 10-2.
But it's
Still,
it's not just the so yes, I said this on Monday. You weren't here, but it's not just like if they lost the game 27-24. That's where I'd be able to be like, all right, few things went wrong. Yeah, maybe that 10 days of rest that they had added up, maybe the 92 plays that the Eagles played against Buffalo, that started to affect them, and they only lost by 3. That I could do that to myself. I could be like, you know what? Yes, this we can get them next time. But they took their thumbs and took my tiny little piece and then shoved it inside my body. Like they had their way with us. Like they had there was it was not
it was
it was just a gashing left and right. I can't in my head, I can't wrap my head around and be like, the Eagles can beat this team. The Eagles are Super Bowl or bust. In order to get to that Super Bowl,
Mhm.
you have to beat specifically that team. And I just I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, yes, and we will, and we will. It's sometimes, Jake, there's a perfect storm. It's just a perfect storm. Okay, like you said, not only have we been playing these tough teams week after week, but then 90 plus plays on the defense against Buffalo. Yes, when you add those things together, when you add on top of that our linebacking situation was already questionable,
Oh yeah.
but Zach Cunningham, who had been playing the best, was out for that game. That just made it that much worse against a team that's probably the best in the league at attacking the middle of the field and the linebacker position. So, like, it was just a perfect storm. But there's no need to panic. And here's what I want to say more than anything. We're 10-2, and we've heard all year how the Eagles haven't played their best football.
Ah,
Reason why that hasn't bothered me, right, is because of the place that we were in the season. We were still in the beginning, in the middle, right? You want to be playing your best football, even like Jalen and them said at the beginning of the year. You don't want to be playing your best football now. You want to be playing it at the end of the year. So if we go through these next couple of games and we don't start to get it together and really put things together, then I'll start to panic, right? Because then at that point we're just this team that just kind of falls our way through to victory at times if things keep happening that way. But so now we're getting into the stretch where we really need to solidify who we are as a team and get ready to play our best football down the stretch.
but so let's go off of that. In my head, I would like to have seen some semblance of that. I would like to see, like, if we're okay. What I'm afraid of is that we have seen this team play their best. That's what I'm afraid of. They keep saying we have not played our best ball, and buddy, we're 12 weeks into, or 13 weeks into the season. We're 12 games into the season, and if I haven't seen something of it yet, like, where is it? What in your mind? What do you think is the best game or the most complete game that this team has played? Because in my mind, I think the easy answer is the Dolphins game.
Yeah, I mean that was and it was a good one, right?
And that was like what, week 7 or something like that?
Yes, but still, that week 7, beginning to the middle of the season, right? Getting down the stretch, but being able to still win these games and do it while doing impressive things, right? It's not like Jalen is in the games that we've won. We're winning with Jalen having 130 yards total, and we're scraping by. We don't have guys that are past 1,000 yards receiving already, like we have in AJ Brown. It's putting it all together. What it looks like to me is putting it all together. In the beginning of the season, there were a lot of turnovers. Then we started to clean up the turnovers. We started having maybe DeAndre Swift went off early. Then Devontae went off early. Then AJ Brown started going off consistently, right? So it's been staggered. All of the production has been staggered, with people still doing impressive things in these victories, not like the Steelers and how they have been winning games, right? It's completely different. So it shows that we have the guys that can do the job. It's about finding the way to put it together at the right time. And just because we've seen it, we have seen it in every single aspect. We've seen the running back be great. We've seen the receivers be great. We've seen Jalen Hurts be great. We've seen the defense make adjustments and shut teams down week after week after week. We've seen these things. So now we just have to figure out a way to put it all together.
Well, then, okay, let's go. Let's use the Dolphins game as a microcosm, saying that that's potentially the most complete, or I'd say it's probably unanimous for people. That's the most complete game that the Eagles have played. Looking at the numbers for that game, I have them here. Jalen Hurts, 23 completions for 279 yards. Not what I necessarily want when I'm talking about the most complete game. 2 touchdowns and an interception. DeAndre Swift, 62 rushing yards. Kenneth Gainwell had a touchdown there. I know you love that one. That was in the middle of the AJ Brown thing. 137 yards off of 10 catches and a touchdown. Longest was for 42. Still had Dallas Goedert there. In that game, Jalen Hurts fumbled and lost the ball. That was a pretty bad one right at the beginning. And then the defense had 4 sacks. And let's see, 2 Josh Sweat, and then half from Fletch and Jordan Davis. Darius Slay had an interception. I don't know. It's just if those are the numbers that I'm looking at, man, it's tough for me. It's tough for me to convince myself that things aren't going to get worse. Now, if I did have to convince myself, here's moving forward into kind of a vibe thing. Here is what I have told myself. Okay, we all know that the running game is not working right now. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Our guards especially haven't been great in the run game. I don't know what's going on with Dickerson and Jurgens. Dickerson especially. Last year, I was a big proponent of just run the ball behind Mulata and Dickerson. And yeah, this year it seems like Dickerson is struggling a little bit in that regard.
So here's my thought with the running game going into this game. Is that this is going to be the first time since like the first month of the season that we're going to get Cam Jurgens, Dallas Goedert, and Lane Johnson all on the field at the same time. Because remember, Cam Jurgens went out, and then Lane Johnson was injured for a game, and then Dallas Goedert's been out for what, 5 weeks now, whatever it is.
Yep.
So things happened really well at the beginning of that season with the running game that somehow vanished. Maybe it's hard for me to convince that you need these three like guys right next to each other on the right side of the line to really make sure that running game starts connecting. But that's kind of what I'm telling myself. Does that do anything for you, or are you just like, yeah, it's these guys, and maybe the running game just isn't going to work this year?
No, I think that there might be something to that, because once those guys start going out and we're rotating guys on the right side of the line, it does kind of make it easier for those defenses to key in on the left side of the line. You may not need as much to disrupt on the right side when you have Cam out and then you have Lane out, and so. No, there might be something to that. I don't know if it's that's all of it, but I think it might be some of it. When I'm timing, I feel like is playing a big factor in the success of the run game.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, I'm not. Some of our beat writers have been arguing with fans this past week about the running game.
Especially after a lot of people being like, the Eagles didn't have a single run last week that was a successful play. So why would you continue to run it? It's like, well, because if you run it, you can make them respect the run. Listen, I understand the value of numbers in football, but buddy, it ain't all that. It ain't all that.
Exactly. Stats women can do whatever you want to make them do.
And I do it often.
Yeah, yes. But I want to just like limit some of those rushing numbers that they showed us as well came from Jalen, right? Yep. I don't count Jalen runs. When I say I want to run the ball, that's not what I mean. You know what I'm saying? I want to hand it to the running back.
Designated running back.
Jalen's runs are considered, in my eyes, a bonus. It's almost like its own type of play, a quarterback run to me. When I say run the ball, I mean give that damn ball to DeAndre Swift. He had, 7 carries against the 49ers? That's just not enough. I don't care that you gave the ball to – so how many was it?
I think it was 6.
6? It was 6 for him, 7 for Gainwell then, right?
No, there were 9 total. There were 9 total. I think it was 6.
Excuse me?
Either 6 and 3 or 7 and 2. One second, I'm pulling it up right here. It was bad, man.
Because, that's just not enough. I don't want to hear that.
6 and 2, 1 for Boston Scott.
6 and 2, 1 for Boston Scott. And you're going to sit up here and tell me that we ran the ball enough? We did not. Quentin says Swift needs 20 touches a game. I'm with that. You probably didn't know I could still see that, Jake, but
yeah, I brought it up for other people.
Yeah. I didn't want to, too many
people who watch on YouTube.
Too many cooks in one kitchen. I didn't want to be messing with anything, but I saw it and I was like, I just reacted. But the team has what it needs. I really do believe that. I just need them to call the runs at the right time. Like 1st and 10 runs. I don't need a 1st and 10 run all the time. That's old school football, right? Just mix that up. We had 7 1st and 10 runs, I believe, during that game against the 49ers. And you're trying to tell me that is good information that tells us that we shouldn't run the ball because those 1st and 10 runs didn't go well. Well, how about do something else? Because 1st and 10 runs have been going on as the opening play for a drive since the 60s. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do want to do like maybe a slant, an RPO on the first play, like to kind of get things going. Then start handing the ball off. It doesn't have to be 1st and 10. hand the ball, especially against the 49ers, especially against the 49ers, whose linebackers are some of the best in the league, and they want to go downhill, crash on you, and leave you behind the sticks so their pass rush can eat later. I just didn't think that the game plan was good enough, and I don't think it's
No. Yeah.
the running game. Some of the top defense in the league defending the running game, are they not the Chiefs, the Bills, the 49ers? Like, are we going to act like we can't run the ball at all because we've had some struggles against some very stout defenses?
Right.
Like they get paid too, right? So, but that's why you have to stick with it.
Yeah, yeah, they get paid too. The Eagles also get paid to specifically, not specifically, but in large part to run the ball. Yeah, no, and it's and my thing with the run the ball more, be successful with the running game. That's what I want. If you only want to give 9 carries, make those 9 carries worth it. Stop with the outside zone runs. Run at their teeth or something like that. Because clearly the outside ain't working. Your guys aren't setting the edges the way that they're supposed to do. Jordan Mailata in one of the interviews this week, he said that in all of the plays, it seems like just one person's doing something wrong. And that's what makes a running game work. And that's why a good running game is so beautiful. Like when unfortunately the 49ers do it. When they get the ball going, you see everything working simultaneously. Everybody's doing exactly
real quick, just a quick question for you. So with that being said, do you look at Jeff Stoutland and ask, is something going on there? If he's saying that somebody is not on the right page or doing something wrong every time, then who does that fall on?
I think that falls on the players. I think that falls on the players because it's not necessarily. Jeff Stoutland is the running game coordinator, and certainly something probably falls into his lap. But whether it be a Jack Stoll in the last couple games or a Grant Calcaterra, whoever is on the outside that needs to set that edge, not being able to do it. Lane did a great job against Nick Bosa. That was a beautiful thing to watch on his pass rush. Per usual, always shutting him down. Yeah, that's beautiful, and I don't necessarily know what I don't say I don't know what I'm looking at, but there's some of those minute things that maybe not even minute's the right word. There's a reason I'm not an offensive coordinator or an offensive line coach. We'll say that.
Right.
But like there's things that people can be missing, whether it just be something small. Playing against good people also throws a wrench in that. I do know on there was one play against that 49ers, whereas one of these runs didn't go anywhere. Jason Kelsey ended up not picking up the safety. It's stuff like that. Like there can be small things. Alameda Zacchaeus missing a block or not holding a block on well enough. There's things like that that can go wrong and just completely shut down a play, and then you're wasting your time, or maybe even gives you back. You go back a handful of yards, and then you're talking 2nd and 13 there, and then you're forcing Jalen Hurts to hold on to the ball for 3.83 seconds or whatever the hell the number was. That was unholy. It all piles up. It can just be one missed job, and everything all kind of piles up. So what I want is just for the running game to be successful. Don't try to muck it up and do fancy things. Just use your best players and let them do what they got to do. You know that DeAndre Swift can not cut a rug, can cut through a field. You know they can do this. Set them up for success. Don't try to be cute with it. Just run the goddamn ball, man.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Run the ball. Like you said, this is something that with certain teams, you have to understand, right? The side-to-side stuff plays into their favor, right? And just like we already talked about, their linebackers, they're way too fast,
right?
To try the side-to-side stuff, you need to run at them. So, yeah, I mean, I understand wanting to make defenses defend the entire field, from side to side. There's definitely something to that. So, of course,
Brian Johnson's addicted to making teams try to do that.
Right? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But he needs help. So maybe there needs to be some sort of coming together, sit them down, have an intervention about it. Because there's when we used to play Dallas, right, at the times when their linebackers were truly, like that, when Sean Lee was there running the show at his prime, It used to drive me absolutely nuts how we would run the ball, trying to get to the sideline all the time on those zone plays, those stretch plays, and pretty much play after play, they would shut them down. Right? This is similar in that regard. Fred Warner is not about to let you just do that. You
No,
know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah,
the
I'm with you there. But
the benefit of the things that we have going forward until we see the 49ers again is not every team has Fred Warner. No teams have a Fred Warner. Fred Warner is the best for a reason. So that is
yeah,
something that we have to look forward to. And let's kind of move forward with that. With this Cowboys game coming up on Sunday night. All right. We played them on November 5th. It seems like a long time ago, but that was only about a month ago. So in that month, we have seen the Eagles do a bye week, have a game against the Chiefs, have a overtime game against the Bills, and lose to the 49ers. A lot has happened in a very short month, but we do
mhm.
have them back in. And in that time, Dallas broke his arm, got a plate in, and now he's back.
Back and against the same team who broke his arm.
Correct.
Please have a good game.
And I think that's going to be something that really
It
does.
still rubs me the wrong way that with that tackle, that broke his arm.
It's
I just I thought it was a little on the dirty side.
yeah.
It's-
If somebody breaks something, and you can tell when something's on accident, like Alvin Kamara smashing into a guy on the sideline and blowing his leg into two chunks. Like that was an
yeah,
accident. This
yeah.
was, who
This
was that?
dude
Was that Marquise
tried
Bell?
to pull a wrestling move, armbar on Dallas Goddard jumping in the air before he let himself. Like I didn't. That was doing the most. But enough about that. About the game this
Yes.
weekend.
Let's get into it.
This is my thing, and I touched on this in the opening portion of the last one when I was on last Friday.
Yeah.
The teams that they've been playing are bad teams. They've beat one pretty good team, the Seahawks, but even them at this point, they're 6-6, right?
Right.
They're not the team that we thought that they were going to be at the beginning of the season. That's for sure.
Correct.
So I just don't understand how you go from, man, this team is a big front runner. They can't really beat, good teams. And that is something that has not just held true this season. It was like that last year as well. They just haven't been beating good teams. So you go from that to them beating up on some more bad teams. And
Yep.
now you're like, oh, Dallas, look at them. Look at them. They've turned the corner. That you should watch out for Dallas. I don't how. What has changed? You're still beating up on bad teams. The same thing that you were doing when we were questioning you before.
Yep.
So they are going to first have to show that they can beat us, and then do something with the rest of their schedule that gets more difficult down the stretch as ours lightens up. And that's the thing. I don't think that we're going to lose this game. If you remember, actually, this is very important. At the beginning of the season, I predicted that we would sweep the season, the
Divisional.
division.
Yep.
Yes. So we have to win this game. Obviously, this is the most important one.
Yes.
If we're going to do that, 2 games against the Giants, like whatever.
This is the most important Dallas game that I can remember in a minute.
Yes.
Like there hasn't been a Cowboys Eagles game of consequence, like of this much consequence, in quite some time. Like this is the game where the Eagles hold their own destiny. Like this is where we get to the point where, like, if the Eagles win this game, their future is in their own hands. If they lose this, we have to start depending on some other things. Yes, they're going to make it to the playoffs. We know that. But this is the one that, like, that actually I can't think of one that has mattered this much in a minute.
And even though you're right about that, I still have it just makes me laugh when I just think about the situation that we're in right now, because of if we lose this game, we need things to happen if we want to try to still win the number
Division.
1 seed.
Oh, number 1 seed, yeah.
But to win the division, their destiny is still in our hands because they lost to the Cardinals. You know, even so, we lose, we tied with them. If we both went out, we still win the division. So the Dallas put themselves in a
Yeah.
terrible position by losing that game to the Cardinals. But regardless of that,
Johnny Gann's
it
at it
was
again, baby.
it will still regardless of that, it's still going to be like, the importance of the game, because it is that close, is still going to be elevated. So you're completely right about that. But if we happen to lose, I still we'll still get to talk a little crap to, Dallas fans, because we'll
Yeah.
say, yes, you beat us, but you still need help if if you want to win the division. So
Yeah. Yeah, and they don't exactly have an easy schedule coming up either. But going into this game, what are you most afraid of in this game? So last time we played in Week 9, CeeDee Lamb, 11 receptions for 191 yards. Dak Prescott, this is kind of near the beginning of whenever he started like playing lights out. Jake Ferguson had himself a game. They were throwing the ball to Brandon Cooks and Kevontae Turpin, or maybe not Kevontae. Yeah, I guess they did probably throw one to Kevontae, but they used all of their wide receivers, which is actually kind of what you want. You'd rather just not have CeeDee Lamb to have 11 receptions for almost 200 yards.
mhm.
What is something that you are afraid of in this game coming up?
Something I'm afraid of in this game would be Brandon Cooks. That's what I'm afraid of,
Really?
because we haven't seen him go off in a big time spot. Excuse me, and we know he's capable. You don't have 1,000, like 6 straight 1,000 yard seasons with all types of different guys throwing to you by accident, right? Like, he
That's
has a
fair.
lot of talent, and we haven't seen that come to fruition yet. So I just don't want him to be the forgotten man that all of a sudden goes off and wrecks the game. When it comes to last game and CeeDee Lamb going off for 170 plus yards, but no touchdowns, right? No touchdowns.
Where's that at? I have it somewhere. Keep talking. I'll let you know.
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was no touchdowns. What I'm Listen, I'm also a Spurs fan. Okay, so I'm going to take it to basketball for a second here.
Go for
When
it.
the Spurs were in the midst of their later run with Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, we ran into OKC with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant, and I'm talking after Harden already left. So the game plan, a lot of the times, you can let those guys go off, but what we can't have is Tabo fucking Cephalosha dropping 15, 20 points as well. You know what I'm saying? So don't let Kevin Durant hit a game winner. You know what I'm saying? But as long as he can have 30 points, he can have 35. We're
Right.
going to get the ball out of his hands when it means the most, and we're going to make sure that everybody else cannot really get off. And so that's fine. CeeDee Lamb is good. Dak
He's great.
Prescott is a good quarterback. That's fine. You can put up some numbers. I just need to win the game. Just don't let everybody go off. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Don't let CeeDee Lamb get the game winning touchdown at the end. Just like in the first game. Yes, they made a little push at the end, even though they only scored 6 points in the second half. But you lost by 5. You couldn't close the deal. You got stopped. You
Right.
got to the promised land almost. You got to the door of the promised land,
6 yards away from
and
it.
then you were kicked down the damn stairs, with 2 sacks, and the Eagles said, okay, that's enough. So that's what I need to occur.
Yeah, it was zero touchdowns. You're right about that.
Okay.
But in reality, I mean, that's kind of what happened last game too. And unfortunately, CeeDee Lamb did like I said, did go off. But you're looking at Jake Ferguson got 91 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Tolbert had 49 yards and a touchdown. Gallup 19. Tony Pollard 12. Brandon Cooks only had 1 reception for 7. So yeah, I guess to that point, if you can make the Cowboys, if you tell them, say, beat us with Brandon Cooks, yes, I'm all for that. Do I think that's going to happen? Not really.
Highly
I mean,
unlikely.
the one thing that is different in this game too, well, 2 things. Number one, the Eagles have Tyler Steen. Don't forget about that, or had Tyler Steen last time. Don't forget about that. But on defense, Bradley Roby was unavailable for that game. Because Bradley
Yes.
Roby went out. Who was the team that we played before the Cowboys?
Washington.
Washington. Yes, Bradley Roby went out that game. And then he was unavailable for the Cowboys game. Now Bradley Roby is going to be largely lining up on CeeDee Lamb, I would assume, being the nickel slot corner. I'm not really. I don't have high hopes given what we just saw Bradley Roby do last week, bouncing off of Brock effing Purdy. So that's upsetting to me. But that is a benefit that it's not going to be Eli Ricks, who does not need to see time on the field. That means
No,
it's not going to
not
be,
yet.
Jeez, man, you're playing the 49ers. You're going to put an undrafted free agent out there? What are you doing with this?
Yeah,
And
he's
five
not
snaps,
ready for that.
five
He's not
snaps.
ready for that. And it's like, it would be one thing if we were playing the Panthers and you know,
yeah.
he was getting some run, but against the 49ers and the type of offense that they run, yeah, that's not a great spot for him.
They should have had Sidney Brown in there the entire time. Don't get me started on that. Sidney Brown only wants to put his face through somebody else's face. There should be
Yeah.
no reason that Eli Ricks should see the field.
What did he get, like 7 snaps?
He had five, all of them on third downs, and he allowed 3 receptions. One was a touchdown. Got thrown out of bounds on another one, and there's another really.
And Sidney Brown played linebacker.
Sidney Brown played linebacker in college.
Man,
some. He played some.
I'd like to try it. I mean, because he'll hit somebody too, man. Like
That's
you said,
all I want. I want nothing in my life at this point in my life. I want Sidney Brown to be the happiest person in the world, and Sidney Brown's only going to be happy when he puts somebody in through the crust of the earth. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want for him to be happy.
What do you think about Shaq Leonard? I assume Shaq Leonard's going to go right now.
Yes,
Like, he's going to play on
every
Sunday.
single person that they've signed this year. They've played the next game. Kevin Byard played immediately. Bradley Roby played immediately. Shaq Leonard's going to play immediately.
And how do you feel about that?
It does nothing for me, man. It does nothing for me. It really doesn't. Zach Cunningham coming back means more to me. Shaq Leonard. He like. The important question to ask when something like this happens is, why did the Colts let go of him? That's the first question you got to ask, is why did the Colts get rid of him? And they got rid of him because they couldn't keep him on the field, like, for third downs. Shaq Leonard came off the field for third downs. And if Shaq Leonard's coming off the field for third downs, that means they don't trust him in coverage. That's what this linebacker group struggles with, is covering people. Yeah. Last week was a bad showing for tackling. That's not characteristic of them, but it's still something you have to pay attention to. But it's the coverage.
Can he cover better though than who we have?
That is 100% true. To me, this is a Kevin Byard. This is a how Kevin Byard was an upgrade from Terrell Edmonds.
Yeah,
Shaq Leonard is an upgrade from Nicholas Morrow. That's to me that's what we're looking at here. It's not, yes, it is technically an upgrade, but I'm not looking at Shaq Leonard being like, yo, we got that all-pro guy. It's like, no, we got the guy who had 2 back surgeries within 5 months. Like, this, he's not.
But how long ago was that?
I mean, it's still affecting him.
He might be getting his second win, Jake. You gotta be optimistic.
He was the Colts franchise on defense. He was their franchise player on defense. Like, before Jonathan Taylor, Shaq Leonard is the kind of guy that they put on like a promo for the game next week. You know how it was funny, like on Thursday Night Football a week from yesterday, they put up a thing for the Patriots and Steelers, and it was TJ Watt and then a picture of Bill Belichick. I don't know if you saw that on Twitter. Like, Shaq Leonard was the person that they put up there for Colts games. And the Colts they're not just going to get rid of a guy like that. So let
me ask you a question.
No risk putting him on the.
Is Jim Irsay, or is he not crazy as hell?
No, he's crazy. You're right.
Yeah, I wouldn't put anything past that man. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what happened, but hey, I mean, we'll see, because there's definitely something to that as well. We've talked about that in other situations before, where guys get let go. You're like, okay, it's like, you want to go pick this guy up, but why? Why did they let him go? There has to be a reason.
Why did the Titans want to get rid of Kevin Byard? Well, turns out because he's not exactly performing at that all-pro level anymore, and he's 30 years old. That's okay. That's a pretty good reason why. Again, that's the most important question to ask. Okay, so you said that you're afraid of CeeDee Lamb. What are you afraid of anything on this Cowboys or not? You said you were afraid of Brandon Cooks. Sorry. Are you afraid of anything on the Cowboys defense?
Am I afraid of anything on the Cowboys defense?
His name is Deron Bland, and you should be.
No, I don't. I don't
Really?
give a damn about Deron Bland.
Really?
I don't give a damn about Deron Bland.
See, the thing is that nobody cares about Deron Bland until Deron Bland does a Deron Bland thing, and that is.
Did he do a Deron Bland thing in the first game, or did he get scored on? But the beautiful pass and route by Devontae Smith and Hurts.
Listen, that's very true. That was probably Jalen Hurts' best throw of the entire season. But it's whenever you start getting lackadaisical. We saw it last week, and I'm not trying to compare Geno Smith to Jalen Hurts, but we saw that Geno Smith was picking on Deron Bland the entire night. And after like the third or fourth DK Metcalf catch over Deron Bland, it's like Geno's playing with fire right here. Like you can't, Geno, you are not good enough to just pick on a cornerback. Like you don't have that juice, my friend. And then sure enough,
not all game. Not right. They got it off, early, and I'm watching that game, and I have DK Metcalf on my fantasy team.
Good for you. I played against him in both of my leagues, which is a kick in the dick.
Don't worry, I still lost. So
good.
Yeah, no, suck. The playoffs start next week. But I'm like right on the precipice. I'm on the edge. I need to make it. But I just knew that DK Metcalf was going to have a good game. I have a lot of receivers on my roster, and DK has had some ups and downs. I've taken him out at times. I was like, they're going to put Deron Bland on him. Deron Bland is 6 foot, 197 pounds. DK Metcalf is 6'4", 234 pounds.
I thought it was 45. I thought he had like a solid 20 pounds on AJ Brown.
No, well, whatever. Last time I looked it up, like a week or two ago, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they're going to try to man up because they play a lot of man, and DK is just too big for that, and he's going to eat. So like, I knew that was going to happen in the beginning. At least for most of the game. I'm glad it did. Even though it meant absolutely nothing in the end because I still lost. But
fastest in the league. Fastest in the league, that DK Metcalf.
Burning.
Jesus.
Burning.
Imagine. Okay, just
can we get a DK Metcalf Tyreek Hill race now?
No, just imagine being that fast. How cool would that be?
That'd
Man, I would just run everywhere. Like,
yes.
I don't give a shit. Like, why is that guy sprinting? Because he can. You see how fast he is?
Exactly. Just wind blowing in your face because you're moving so damn fast. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mario is my favorite game, and in every Mario game, you always run. You never walk if you're Mario. If you're DK Metcalf, you're running everywhere. Oh.
Yeah. As soon as you hop out the car, you get to the training facility, you run through the parking lot.
It's like, why is that guy sprinting the bathroom? Nah, you think he has to pee really bad? No, it's just DK Metcalf, man. He runs 23 miles an hour. That'd be so cool.
It's amazing.
But yeah, I will say, aside from the not inevitable, but the threat of a Deron Bland interception, he is somebody that can be picked on. But that is the one thing that I'm afraid of on this defensive line, or on this Cowboys defense.
How many the Seahawks dropped like 30 points on them too? Like the past couple of games, they've been giving up some points. They've shown chinks 35. In the armor. I mean, we dropped 28 on them, and so that's what I'm saying. I'm not 28 scared
on them. And had a fourth quarter where the Eagles had 3 and outs.
Exactly. Not characteristic. I'm just not afraid of their defense. Their biggest thing on defense, the two biggest players are Deron Bland, of course, and of course Micah Parsons. And Micah Parsons is pretty much a non-factor in the games that we play them. It's been that way every single time. Especially
he logged 1 sack in that Week 9 game. But yeah, he's not a game record for the Eagles like he is for, I don't know, the Panthers, whatever sad sack a team that
exactly right. Like one sack in three games against us, 5 games. How long has he been in the league now? It's his third year.
He was 2020 as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. So yeah,
I
that's
believe.
all he can muster. I'm not afraid of him. What he does to others, he doesn't do to the Eagles, because the offensive line is the great equalizer.
Right.
You're just not going to wreck the game with this one guy. As great as Demarcus Lawrence is against other people, he is not great against Lane Johnson.
Not a
You know,
chance.
it's
Yep.
not worried about that. And I'm just Deron Bland. If it was Trayvon Diggs, I'd be a little bit more concerned. But he has a little bit more experience. Even I understand that, but because he's learned already, what Deron Bland is still learning when it comes to playing just sound technical cornerback. From like the beginning to the end. Trayvon
Yeah.
Diggs got that down. Deron Bland is still learning it.
It-
So he's talented as hell, but I'm not scared of him.
I'm mad about Deron Bland, how Trayvon Diggs can go down and then Deron Bland just slides over and then is also like good. Like that's so
Yeah,
stupid. That's
yeah,
so dumb. That's
yeah.
such a Cowboys thing. It's so stupid that they're just like, yeah, we got Deron Bland now. It's like he shouldn't be that good. It's very frustrating to me.
Is it like us having Trent Cole and now we got Fletcher Cox, and then we get Brandon Graham, and now we have Hassan Reddick, and like sometimes we just roll on through. We had Jason Peters, now we have Jordan Mailata. Hey, we do it too. We do it too.
Yeah, but I hate it when it happens to other people.
Yeah.
There's that vitriol that you were talking about at the beginning there. It's pouring out now.
It's all right. Just pull it back in. It's gonna be all right, because
Let it unleash, baby.
we're going into week 14, I believe.
Correct.
And the Eagles have had the best record in the NFL every single week in the NFL since week 1 of last year.
That is correct.
So when you think about it like that, life is pretty good right now for the Eagles fans.
It's just that lingering doubt that you have because of that 49ers game. Again, if it was close, I wouldn't feel this way, but that was it's such a kick in the pants.
But are you going to act like it wasn't a perfect storm? Like they had so much built up resentment, frustration, energy. Trent Williams said that you saw how they all showed up in all black. He said they didn't even plan that.
Okay, Trent.
He said they didn't even.
We're just lying now. We're just openly lying.
I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt because you won and you beat us like that. I'm gonna let you eat. I'll let you get yours off. We didn't plan that. Y'all played like this. Jalen was looking at the rush. What? Hey, get your shit off, man.
You can't do it. No, you can't. If you guys didn't plan that, that is embarrassing, and you should be embarrassed that you guys all dressed up wearing the same goddamn outfit. You should be embarrassed. That's so.
They all had the same mentality.
It
was going to be a funeral. They were going to kill us. They all, hey, man, y'all got it. Y'all beat us. I ain't gonna say much about it, y'all. But it's not over. It's all that matters. What happened? I don't remember if it was 2007 or 2008. It's one of those where it's like we lost big to the Cardinals, but beat them in the playoffs, or something like it. It happens. Just because the team beat up on us now at a terrible time doesn't mean like I'm just not going to ignore the emotion, the 10 days of rest. Like they've been talking about it publicly for a damn year, so they were it was their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It was their Super Bowl. So I'm not going to ignore that, plus the Bills and the Chiefs we had to go through before that, and the 90 plus snaps for the defense. It was just the perfect storm. The no Zach Cunningham, when we already would have been like challenged in that area, it was a perfect storm for them, and it's going to elevate their confidence level when I don't think it's like that. And that game still wasn't a complete blowout until later in the game.
And you mentioned bringing up like the playing the Bills and everything like that. I do want to bring this up. This is what I'm afraid of, and it's not just something that I'm afraid of for this game, but the entire rest of the season. All right. snap counts for this defensive line. Last year, one of the reasons that they were so dominant is because of the tremendous rotation that they had. People weren't doing a whole lot of playing a whole lot of consecutive snaps. As they picked up Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph, and then Fletcher Cox looked 10 years younger. This year, Josh Sweat is at 623 snaps, projected to be 882 snaps. Last year, he played 587 snaps.
Ooh.
That's not good. Hassan Reddick at 614 snaps, projected for 869 snaps. Last year, 817 snaps. So he is currently at 78% of the snaps that he was at last year. Fletcher Cox, right now, 501 snaps, projected for 709 snaps. Last year, he played 713 snaps. When Fletch came back this year, I was thinking that he wasn't going to be playing as much as he was last year. That is wholly not the case. He's playing the exact same amount. Jordan Davis, and I do like this one. This one is actually promising. Jordan Davis this year, he's at 362 snaps. Last year, he was at 224, which that's something that we kind of like imagine would happen, right? Like when I was looking at that, I was like, yeah, that was the knock of him when we drafted him. It's like, yeah, he didn't actually play that all that much at Georgia, but that's just because that's how Georgia's defense is that they rotate everybody all the time. So Jordan Davis is taking more snaps now. So that's a good thing. Jalen Carter, rookie Jalen Carter, also a Georgia product. Rookie Jalen Carter, 408 snaps. That's good. I mean, what's that? That's damn near double of what Jordan Davis's snaps were for all of last season. I love that.
Well, how many snaps did Javon Hargrave play last year?
Oh, I didn't write that down.
Because that's the problem, right? When you lose a guy like that who was a starter and played that many snaps, and now everybody else has to play more. Then Milton gets hurt at a time, then Fletcher Cox gets hurt, and Derek Barnett is gone. They're moving guys around, so now everybody is just playing more snaps in general. Everybody except Nolan Smith. I mean, he's still not getting that many snaps, but I'll see him out there running around there now and then.
I want you to just guess. Guess how many snaps Nolan Smith has played.
Total?
Total.
I would say 83.
83 is the exact number.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't look that up, bro. That 83. Was a blind guess.
80, you nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. But that's what's effed up about this is that even though Derek Barnett is gone, Nolan Smith is not seeing more playing time. He played 11 snaps on Sunday, which I believe is his season high, maybe.
Look at him coming out.
But man, if Josh Sweat is at, what did I say? Josh Sweat is at 623 and Nolan Smith is at 83. Nolan Smith is a good player, I think. Right?
We think.
Hopefully.
But we gotta get him out there more so we can see, so we can determine that.
What are we? We need to give him a lottery number.
Everything that should be encouraging. I'm telling you, Jake, everything is coming up roses right now. It's gonna be good. I can't wait for this game. I'm mad that we have to wait for the game, another night game. God, it's game of the week, the Sunday night game, a Monday night game against the Seahawks next week, and then another Monday night game for the Giants on Christmas. The next, oh my God, all these prime time. I like being on prime time. I'm an attention whore. Okay, so I like being on prime time, but goddamn, I also like the good 12 o'clock noon game that we could just sit down in the mornings or early afternoons, watch it, and move on. You know,
I'm going to be toasted. It's 7 hours of commercial-free football leading into that. I'm going to be drinking.
Oh yeah.
I would like to be able to do this show on Monday and not have my throat be a scratchy mess. It's going to be.
I'm weighing whether I should, see if I could get someone to cover a shift on Monday at work because, I also plan on getting pretty toasted Sunday night football, against the Cowboys. That's what you're supposed to do, like really. I live in Dallas. You live in the Philly area, right?
I'm in St. Louis.
You're in St. Louis.
Oh yeah.
So I never even know. So you wouldn't get it, unfortunately. But for Dallas and Philly, it should be a holiday. The
Oh no,
next
I'm
day.
living it.
You know what I'm saying? Just give us a holiday the next day after an Eagles Cowboys night game.
Yeah, no, it's luckily I don't have a real job, so I don't have anything to take time off of. But so yeah, it is. Hey, it is a holiday for you, boy. So that's good. I do have the number, the Javon Hargrave number. Javon Hargrave, 712 snaps last year.
712 snaps that have to be distributed.
So that is that was essentially the same amount as Fletcher Cox and 100 less than Hassan Reddick, which is kind of how that makes sense. He played the same amount of snaps as Fletcher Cox. I mean, they had the good rotation and everything. That makes sense, but it's just startling because we're 70% of the way through the season, and some of these guys, buddy, you got a battery.
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough. Okay. What do the Eagles need to do to win this game in your mind?
What the Eagles need to do to win this game? Quite honestly, this is the most basic ass answer, but it's the truth.
4 more points.
Sometimes it's not rocket science, right? But stay ahead of the sticks. Like enough with the 3rd and 8 and plus, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. We need to stay in front of the sticks, and however you make that happen, make it happen. But this team, one of the reasons that they've been good and have been able to keep teams to lower scores despite some of the struggles on the defense is because of the length of the drives on offense.
Yep.
So we need to stay in front of the sticks, once again start extending drives and finish them with touchdowns like we were doing the 3 games prior to the 49ers game.
Can I ask you a question? Might be a little bit uncomfortable. Have you changed your tune on the field goals count as a successful drive yet? Have you changed your tune?
No.
Oh my God. Come on.
Why would I change my tune? What? Listen,
those 2 drives were not successful last week.
I'm a nuanced guy, Jake. Okay. Oh. I'm a strong, nuanced guy. Okay. And there are varying levels of success when it comes to a drive, right? You have the total success with the touchdown, but if you could get at least 3 points as opposed to none, that is something.
Well,
and it wasn't. And remember, the conversation wasn't necessarily about whether the drive was successful. It's whether the offense should also be attributed some credit for the points scored from a field goal versus a touchdown, and that is still yes. Because the kicker can't kick it. We don't fair catch after a kickoff and just send the kicker out there to kick a 100-yard field goal. Somebody's got to drive it closer.
We could.
I mean, Jake Elliott might pull it off. Quite honestly, you kick 59 yards in the pouring rain like that and make it look easy, then who knows? But that's not what we do. Jalen and the crew drives them into range for him to kick those field goals. It's a team thing. Yes, the offense still deserves some credit.
Yeah, Jalen fell flat on his ass for like a 12-yard sack. I consider that a failure.
That was
brutal. It was disgusting. I hated it.
That's not why. I don't know. You didn't have to bring that up. That play in particular really grinded my gears.
That set the tone for the following 45 minutes of the game.
I believe that as well. I quite honestly do believe that play in particular was the one that started the downpour.
It's a particularly brutal one. You can always tell. Just like against the Jets, it was when Jalen got picked off. Not the really bad one that ended up being not a pick six, but all the way down. It's the one where he tried to throw it through the defender's arms. That one was where that game I was like, this might be bad. If you remember that at all, I don't know.
Which game was that?
Jets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's done it a handful of times this year, and I don't know why he keeps trying to throw the ball, thread the needle through a defender's arms when they're right in front of his face. But If you want to ask me what the Eagles need to do to win this game, just protect the ball, man. Don't turn it over. Don't turn it over. Last week, I had it up here somewhere. Maybe it was the tab that I got rid of for the Javon Hargrave stuff. He did not. There were no turnovers last week. There was one against the Bills. We just need to keep the ball safe, and you can beat this Dallas Cowboys team. It's the The only problem with that is that it is in Jerry World, and they play infinitely better when they are there. Last time the Eagles beat the Cowboys in Jerry World was in 2017. So if they win, they're a team of destiny, is what I'm hearing. That's how I'm going to spin it in my head.
It's going down again. They're about to catch this L. I told you at the beginning of the year, Jake, that we're going to sweep the division, and we are going to sweep the division.
A disgustingly difficult thing to do. That is that is so goddamn hard. It is. Listen, It is hard as hell to beat a team twice. It is incredibly easy to beat a team 3 times. But it is. Yeah, this is it. This is, I don't know, man. This is a tough one. This is a tough one for me.
But that's okay. I mean, right? We just the team just got their asses beat in the second half of that game against the 49ers. I don't think they're going to come out
for
fired
3/4 of the game. They got their asses beaten.
Right? I'm gonna try to take a little bit off of it. You know what I'm saying? But
they whipped that ass in the first quarter. Great. Only football game for 15 minutes long.
We were walking up and down the field the first 2 drives. It was great. I was jumping up out of my seat, yelling at, talking shit, like, "Yeah, you thought you could stop us?"
I called Brock. I called Brock Purdy a whiny little bitch. I think probably about 15 times in 15 minutes. I laid into him. I hate his stupid face. I hate that guy. Did you see that video of that girl that's been going around that looks like the female Brock Purdy? Have you seen that at all?
How long has it been going around?
Like just this week?
No.
Oh, but she looks exactly like Brock Purdy, and I hate her face too, and I felt bad about it. Like I hate Brock Purdy, and then this girl puts her face on my phone. I'm like, no, get the hell out of here! Get the hell out of here!
Don't do that. Don't do that, girl, like that, man. She's got a bad enough.
She could be a great person. Maybe she's a great, but I hate her. I hate her face because she has the same face as some other goddamn dweeb.
Maybe. I mean, I haven't seen it, but maybe it's a pretty Brock Purdy face. Like
it's not. Brock Purdy looks like a creative character. It's just a boring face. You have nothing special about your face except you have this stupid smile, and when you frown, you're not frowning enough. I do not like that man, Sam. I am
kind girl. I think that Jake is being a little harsh.
I am not. I'm acting appropriate.
You look just fine.
Your genetics have failed you. That's where we're at. That's what we've come to. All right. We're almost out of time. Predictions. Do you have a prediction for this game?
Eagles
Score
by 50.
Or otherwise.
Eagles by 50. No. I think the Eagles are going to have Cowboys fans leaving the stadium early.
Okay.
Okay. So we're talking 35-20.
So you think that the Eagles in this game score over their average for the season? They're averaging 27.4 points per game.
Yeah, no, Jerry World is about to be dead ass silent, like that actress in A Quiet Place. I don't remember her name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Sandra Bullock. No, that was Bird Box.
No. Yep. I remember that one too.
Yep. Okay. I like this. This is something that we did not bring up. AJ Brown, I believe, will have a much better game this week. Devontae Smith has been going off since Dallas Goedert's been out. Dallas Goedert being out means that teams can allocate more resources to covering AJ Brown. Dallas Goedert being back, AJ Brown more open. I think that Devontae Smith, while not a backseat, I think that he will have not as good of a game as he had been having. I think that AJ Brown is going to finally make his way back to the scene.
I'm with you.
I think
you got a score. You got a score.
Score for me, man. Easy to say 27-4. Very easy for me to say 27-4 since that's just the average of everything. But I will not say that. I have lost faith in this defense, and I'm not entirely sure there is any reason to have any faith in this defense at this point. I don't think that 1 week is going to stop them from
Is it
being
because
inspired.
you lost faith in the defense because of the last two games?
Last 4 games where the Eagles have been yarded. That's the word for it, right? Outgained by
Yeah, outgained, but I mean, some of that is on the offense, right? Like
yeah.
that Chiefs game, they didn't gain a ton. We just didn't gain a ton either.
No, but I mean, I don't think that there's anything that's really changed in the past week for this defense. Zach Cunningham coming back, but I mean, he's not. There was never a chance that Zach Cunningham was going to cover CeeDee Lamb.
I'm going to keep saying that Kevin Byard is going to get better, and the secondary will improve until it happens. Because I do think it's going to happen. Like, these dudes are at least smart, right? They still have some capabilities, and they're smart. They just need to get on the same damn page.
Shaq Leonard being on the field instead of Nicholas Morrow is a good thing, but
yes. You should be able to make reads and see things that other people
and not give up a wheel route. If you recall correctly, did CMC score on that wheel route?
I don't recall, but do you think
it was the second game in a row that Nicholas Morrow's given up a wheel route? James Cook just happened to drop it in the Buffalo game.
He's not supposed to be out there covering.
That's what a good offense does. Is that
I'm talking about Morrow.
Morrow shouldn't be out
there covering. He's the run guy. Like, he was forced into a terrible situation.
That's garbage. He's so bad.
Yes, but hey, I think Shaq Leonard will be able to help make some tackles. Like, he puts his hands on you for the most part. He should bring you down.
Quentin, why is it so hard to pass off wide receivers in the bunch? I'm assuming.
Don't even get me started.
I'm assuming that you're okay. Why is it so hard to pass off wide? Because they're really bad at playing press man. Would probably be the main reason.
Yeah, that's the thing that drives me nuts too. Every time it's like third down and for the defense, and like they're the opponents come out on third down in a bunch formation. I'm like, oh shit,
anxiety immediately. Yeah. I'm like, no, dude, this defense is in a mess right now. I don't know what Sean Desai has instilled in their brains where I'm like, he's like, no, these guys don't know where it's a bungled mess, dude. Every time they come out in a third down like that, I'm looking at it like I just pulled my AirPods out and they're all of the cords are wrapped up. I'm like, I don't know how to comprehend this right now. It is so bad, and it's because this team is really bad at covering bunches like that because man is bad for them. That's going to be bad. That's going to be bad all season. But as far as my prediction goes, like I said, it could be 27-4. But I've lost faith in this defense. I think that the Eagles score over 28 points. I'm going to say the Eagles score 28 points. Actually, is what I'm going to say. But I'm going to say that the game ends 35-28 with the Eagles losing.
Jake,
Dallas has been good at home, man. Dak's been playing well. Yes, he can make decisions, make bad decisions. The defense can force him to make bad decisions, but there's nothing that they're rolling, man. They came back from a deficit at halftime last week. I think that they have that in them, especially when they're at home in their own stadium.
See, you're doing the thing. You're doing the thing.
What do you want me to do?
They've been playing nothing but trash teams. The teams they've been playing have been absolutely garbage. Giants, Panthers. All right, you beat the Seahawks, and it took a shootout for you to do it.
Let me. Okay, here's what's going on here. The offenses that they've been playing against are trash, except for last week with Seattle. The defenses that they've been playing against have been trash. The offenses they've been playing against have not been trash. When they're playing against a bad offense, they're keeping them out of the end zone, but they're putting up a shitload of points against bad defenses. This Eagles defense is a bad defense.
We've already played. You got 23 points. Okay, we're going to see you again. It
But
is
how
still
many
a
points
division
did they
game.
miss
We know
out on?
you. You know us. All that good stuff. Like, you think they're going to drop 40 on us?
I think they're going to drop 35. You'll
Hell
look
no.
at that week 9 game, man. That week 9. Listen, I don't like it. That week 9 game. They had so many opportunities to put up points, but they couldn't do it. I don't think that their lack of success is sustainable. I think that something is going to even out and that they will have success. I think the fact
Dallas?
that yes,
But every year you say that, like, this is a team that, they routinely figure it out when it's quite the opposite. Like they have a reputation now for falling short, not figuring it out and putting it all together. So I'm going to need to see them do that before I'm just going to give them, oh, they've been playing well. Just like I said earlier, where I'm like, I'm not going to forget those things about the 49ers game that may have led to that performance. I'm not going to ignore that they've been playing trash ass teams and padding their stats. And so now I'm not going to look at them now like some sort of world beater. It's like when Benyama was dropping 30 in the damn preseason. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the regular season starts and, hey, I guess it's a little tougher, right? Like, that's just the truth of the matter. I was all excited just like everybody else was during the preseason. Oh, look at everybody hitting all these threes. The Spurs are going to be way better than everyone thought, but they're not. Once you start playing those teams, you quickly realize once again why everyone made the projections that they made. So,
I mean,
but I gotta go. We gotta cut this in a minute or two so I can get ready
yeah,
for this
let's
first
do
game.
that. Again, my final prediction, I'm still going 35-28. Thank you everybody for hanging out with
I
us
didn't
on
convince you.
Quentin brings up plus what's his name? McCarthy just had surgery. Yeah, he's a fat guy.
I'm not sure that how that
That matter?
affects it either way, but I would be happy if they lose to be like Mike McCarthy picked a bad time to have surgery,
Yeah, Mike
but
McCarthy. The Eagles just lost the big Dom game. Mike McCarthy just lost the appendix game. You only get one of those, Mike. That's funny.
Should have been
All right.
game planning instead of laying on that hospital bed.
Yeah, I blame your the physiology of your body failed you. That's funny. All right. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with us on this Friday night. I appreciate you guys for watching us. And if you're watching this later on, I appreciate you as well. The Eagles play on Sunday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys in order to keep going on their potential sweeping of the division. After this game, it's just the Giants. That's not a hard team to beat. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you very much. That is Jalil Williams. My name is Jake Beckman. Thank you very much for joining us. Go Birds.